Barcelona lose again, another embarrassing defeat to Atletico Madrid this time, and it's not once again a surprise for any Barcelona fans that we've lost, but I think the performance is once again the issue that is becomingly blaringly obvious to all fans. Today's first half performance was pretty bad because Atletico looked dangerous on every counterattack, and Atletico just scored some of the most simple goals that you can possibly score against any opponent whatsoever. The first goal that Atletico scored, with of course Thomas Lemar, was just a simple 1-2, which we weren't able to defend. Now, this issue cannot be put on individuals because it was a real team issue in defense, since we basically let everyone charge forward and only left 2 or 3 players in defense, who of course were Gerard Piqué and Ronaldo Araujo. And so this was like the issue in that first half, where we just left that defense so exposed, making it so easy for Atletico to just quickly counter against us, and that's how easy it was for Atletico to score the first 2 goals. And then the second goal. Now that was hard to take in 2 ways, because of course any second goal is kind of a comfort zone for whatever team scored, because it kind of puts a cushion over and it kind of helps them have a good scoreline and stabilize a little bit, play a little bit more defensively. And with Atletico, they don't have to score 2 goals for them to play defensively. And so it was kind of automatic for them to play more defensively. But I think the biggest issue for that second goal was, of course, the fact that Luis Suarez scored. And it's sad to see that a player that we, of course, had right until this time last year, we had him as a Barcelona player, is now scoring for one of our arch rivals in La Liga, along with Antoine Griezmann also playing and smiling and laughing right after he came from the bench to play against us. So it's honestly as bad as it gets, because not only are we in a bad position when it comes to our place in world football and in the league, but we're also getting embarrassed by our own players. And in Antoine Griezmann's case, he is our player still, because we of course only sent him on loan. And so it's definitely not something that's positive for Barcelona fans. Now, in terms of the other aspects of the first half, Barcelona were just exposed defensively, and it just really took Atletico Madrid 2 or 3 passes for them to split open our Barcelona defense. Like, I was looking at the first goal back, and I realized the fact that there was only 2 players in our own half when Atletico were in our half. And so it just shows that we're not able to defend because we don't have any numbers to defend. Like, if you're having a 2v2 with Lemar and Suarez, or Joao Felix and Suarez against Araujo and Piqué, there's only going to be one winner. And even though Piqué is a good center back and Araujo is obviously a good young center back, you're facing world-class opposition and world-class talent. So the fact that we afforded them that much space and basically so much time to run into and space to run into, it's just too easy for any attack, and especially any attack of that quality. In the second half, we did do a little bit better defensively, because of course, Mingueza was doing a little bit better in that right back spot. We were a little bit better defensively because Busquets came back a little bit more. Obviously, we controlled the possession, which is definitely something you expect from this Barcelona side nowadays, because we're able to control the possession. Today, we had 71% of the ball. We were the better side in the second half, definitely. We controlled the ball, and we had it in the opposition half majority of the time. Coutinho had a really good chance in the second half, except it went straight to Jan Oblak. And I think that's a little bit disappointing. You can still see the rustiness in Coutinho, because after all, he did have a pretty long injury once again. So you could really see the rustiness in Coutinho. But there are some positives to this game. I think in the first half, Coutinho had a good chance once again outside the box. And then we're developing slow patterns of play that we're seeing Barcelona execute slowly. So Barcelona are getting better little by little, but we're just still not at the level to be competing for La Liga. In terms of what this result means in the context of the league, well, that puts us into 9th place. Yes, we have a game in hand when you look at it compared to other teams, such as, for example, Osasuna, Rayo Vallecano, Athletic Club, Valencia, Atletico Madrid. But even if we win our game, based on the current position, we'd go to 4th. But Sevilla have 2 games in hand after we played that game. So it's a real difficult situation for Barcelona fans in general. And in terms of how disappointing the result was, Of course, it's disappointing, but it's not the same as the Benfica game where we, of course, lost 3-0, because in that game, it was kind of a shock since we knew that Benfica weren't at the level of Barcelona. But in terms of Atletico Madrid, they have a better team and a better squad than Barcelona. Now, you can see, like in that second half, they were able to bring on Antoine Griezmann and Correa off the bench, which is amazing. While we, on the other hand, had the absolute pleasure of bringing Ricky Puig and Luke de Jong off the bench. Now, as good as these two players are, they're just not at the level of the Atletico Madrid players, and they just have so much depth. And if you were to put a combined 11 with the Atletico Madrid squad and the Barcelona team, I mean, the amount of Atletico Madrid players that would get into our team is ridiculous. So there's definitely a divide in quality when it comes to these two teams. And was it a deserved win for Atletico? Well, in many ways it was, since they were very clinical and they were just a better team overall. They took their chances. They had a few really good chances in the first half. And I don't think people are remembering the chance that Joao Felix had where he hit it straight to Ter Stegen, and the chance that, of course, Luis Suarez had, which he could have scored. It was a chance right before the one that he scored. So there were a lot of chances for this Atletico Madrid team. On the other hand, Barcelona, they just weren't good enough today. And there was just so many flaws in this team. I mean, you, of course, saw De Jong basically he got the ball, wasn't able to do too much with it. Nicky Gonzalez also wasn't able to do too much with it. Sergio Busquets wasn't bad. He had to make a lot of runs to the back to get the ball and recover the ball. In terms of Mingueza, he had a lot of good moments in the first half where he was able to recover the ball on that right-hand side, along with Araujo, who both, I think, in my opinion, had a very good game today. But I think still, with the quality that Luis Suarez and Joao Felix brings, along with the fact that Mingueza and Dest in the first half just went bombing forward, we weren't actually able to do much in the Atletico Madrid half, but they just went forward, leaving Piqué and Araujo exposed. And that was when Atletico Madrid absolutely exposed us. Now, in terms of the next few matches for Barcelona, well, to put it simply, they don't get any easier, as we have Valencia, Dinamo Kiev, and of course, the big one, Real Madrid. In terms of Valencia, they, at the current moment, are above us. Obviously, they've played a game more than us, but they are above us in the league. And in terms of Dinamo Kiev, that is an absolute must-win game, because it's, of course, that's a game where we have to win, since we haven't won our first two games. And if we win that game, we would go above Dinamo Kiev, which would put us third in a Europa League spot. In terms of the Real Madrid game, well, we have to take each game one by one, but that Real Madrid game is looking very difficult, since they are, of course, top of the league, unbeaten, and it just looks like a very difficult road for Barcelona. And in terms of how La Liga looks at the current moment, Barcelona are 9th with the game in hand, and Real Madrid are 1st with Atletico Madrid 2nd. Obviously, Real Sociedad have played a game less than Atletico Madrid, but Atletico Madrid are now in the 2nd position, and it just looks like a very, very hard road for Barcelona from now on. And the games are not getting any easier, so it's just getting worse and worse for Barcelona. But hopefully, with all the youngsters that we have in our team, there are some positives, because with all the youngsters we have, we can really play a good game. And we still have Pedri, Dembele, and Aguero to return, who are all very, very bright for the side. So maybe with those players, we'll be able to do something special this season. But with the way that it really looks like a very dark road for Barcelona. And of course, if you found anything interesting in this video, and just leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. Thanks again, and catch you in the next video.